Welcome back to Sibling Therapy. This is going to be a doozy. I can already feel it.
A doozy? That means like a flop.
No, it just means like a lot.
Like a big episode.
Yeah, like just kind of like, whoa, like that's a doozy.
This is one of the weeks where I feel like so much has happened in the last 7 days where this is going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot to go over here.
Did you guys film a podcast while I was gone?
No, we saved it for this.
But
Well, we were going to film it yesterday.
And then we made the decision that we were going to keep it as the four of us because it's sibling therapy.
No, I agree with Cole. I think more happened in this last week than I possibly would have thought happened. And it was a lot. It was crazy.
Not even like just
Not even
between
just like
us.
globally, like around the world.
There's a lot. Meme culture blew up. Gabrielle was in Hawaii. There's like, we're not a politic channel, but like there was a lot that happened in that sphere, and Gabrielle was gone.
I literally was like, oh, let me just unplug for this trip. Let me not check my phone. The second I checked my phone for anything, I was like, what is happening while I am gone?
It was.
Also, we have Eden's movie review to look forward to.
That's right.
You went and saw it?
I unfortunately did.
Eden got scarred.
I had to text Tyler's friend last night to like talk to him about it.
Eden got scarred. We have a lot to go over with Gabrielle's podcast. We have some tragic
Gabrielle's
news
podcast.
I have my own
with
podcast now.
Eden's body. She has a kinked neck right now. And before we get into that, I have to mention Gabrielle has the craziest. It looks like it may be burned.
Yeah, I have like a burn
Wait,
right.
do you? I didn't
Yeah,
really
it's
notice.
right on like the forehead.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It was from when I went snorkeling because it was
Oh wow.
a wild snorkeling expedition, and so I got really burnt
'Cause I was
while
gonna
we were
say-
out there.
I didn't even realize.
You
Yeah,
look
I
like a
didn't
different
realize.
It looks
ethnicity
like a
out there.
headband.
I kind of had my hair intentionally like over like the whole
Oh.
emo.
Oh, she's bringing
Oh.
back the.
But yeah,
side
I have
bangs.
a crazy. It's peeling today. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Oh.
So I know.
it's okay.
Thankfully, it didn't hurt though. But it was yeah.
But I was
Yep.
going to say, you don't look super tan, but I feel like that's because we were already tan
No,
before.
I am so tan.
Really?
Like I think you just like aren't realizing it,
Uh,
but I am like
yeah, I guess compared to Cole.
insanely,
I think you just finally caught up to our level.
insanely tan.
Because you were a little hermit before this, but now you're in the sun, soaking it up. Well, versus I have been in the sun, living it up.
Yeah.
I'd also like to mention Gabrielle came back, and we didn't waste a second getting back into our sibling argument. She sat down and was like, "Oh, Tyler and I are switching spots, are we?" And I was like, "No, you guys were sitting there last time." She's like, "No, I was not sitting here last time."
Okay, I feel like the voices are unnecessary and you're just being rude.
Also, to her defense, I did the same thing, but that's because prior to doing the set, we were the other way.
We always sat the other way.
But the last episode, I did sit over here.
Okay. Well, I was wrong.
Well, we didn't check yet. Gabrielle bet me $10 that she is
did.
sitting in the right spot.
The words $10 did come out of her mouth, and there was a
Ian-
handshake.
As my witness, there was a handshake. I wish we got the handshake on camera. I have the footage.
Who does that? Where they start like rolling the podcast as they're setting up because they start like
Quarreling. That's what I was trying to say. I was like, nobody's allowed to talk until we start filming.
they just said that there's always something that happens. I think it was Zane maybe like when he was on Matt and Abby's podcast, but he was like, we always start the podcast as we're bringing the lights into the room because something always happens.
That's a good point. Like just the four of us being together in like, oh, we're about to film mode. Something's bound to happen. We'll have Jade set up everything and start recording next time. I have the footage up though.
Okay,
Are you
let's see it.
changing your stance or are you staying strong?
Well, I feel like I've already been proven that I'm wrong, so it seems like I can't change my fact. Listen, if there is one thing about me, it's that I will think I'm right until the day I die, but the second I'm proven that I am wrong, I will own up to it. Like, I'm not the kind of person, like, I will always say I'm sorry, I will always say you're right, I will be like, I was wrong, but until I get to that point, it is very hard to convince me that I am wrong.
I have the footage clip and I didn't intentionally choose this frame.
Dang it!
Dun dun dun. The clip is not great.
Yeah.
Gabrielle's like
A little hunched over. Okay, I
But
was
we
wrong.
made it through.
But that was my first time sitting there, so it's not,
It's not ingrained
it's
yet.
not ingrained in my memory.
No.
Exactly.
We'll work out the kinks. We always do. Speaking of kinks, that was an unintentional, really great segue. Eden somehow or another injured herself.
I'm fighting for my life.
What happened?
I have no idea.
Like, I'm confused because I thought in the text this morning Cole said that he hurt his neck?
No,
Oh, that was
Oh, that was
me.
you?
I was up all night.
Oh, I thought that was
she
Cole.
had a pinched nerve.
And then
Yeah.
last weekend when I played in my tournament, I had a pinched nerve in my neck. And then I played the
Ooh.
tournament.
Mm.
And then I felt like it like flared it up, but then I just stopped playing for a couple days and then it went away.
So you just pickled too hard.
I guess so.
You're brined.
Dude, I don't even know. And then like last night I was playing and I literally like couldn't turn my head.
Ooh.
And then I went to bed. I iced it before I went to bed. and
When did you see
heat
the scary movie?
3 days ago?
I just wondered if that added to the stress of like being
Maybe.
like
Well,
Wait,
no,
maybe
because
it's
we'll
the-
get into that.
Yeah.
Anyways, but basically, I like can't turn my head
oh
right now,
No.
and like
there's nothing worse than a pinched nerve.
I
That is
know,
honestly
nerve damage is worse.
it's so uncomfortable.
Well,
There's
what's even
famine.
worse-
There's the Black Plague.
what's even worse is I have to go to pickleball tonight
Why?
because I'm playing with a new group of girls that invited
She's playing with
me,
her chicas.
and I have to show up. I finally got an invite, and I can't not go.
But
Oh, you're
I
gonna
feel
make
like
it
you're not
so
supposed
much
to play.
worse. Why just go
This
for the vibes?
is this is for the betterment of her social life.
Ibuprofen and suck it up.
Oh my gosh.
More
So,
like
yeah.
I be pickling.
Okay.
But yeah, so if you've had a pinched nerve, you know it's pretty uncomfortable, and if you haven't, don't have a pinched nerve.
I feel like
It's
your
like it feels
your
like it's
whole
hurting my
face,
vocal
your whole
cords.
face is locked up.
This
Looks
one's
like you got
weird.
Botox.
No, this one's weird because it's like it's pushing on my neck, so when I swallow,
Ooh.
I can feel it.
Ew.
So when I was trying to drink my smoothie, I was like,
That sounds absolutely horrible.
Yeah, I'm sorry you're going through
The
that.
dangers of pickleball.
I
I tell
recent-
ya.
I recently had my own pickleball intervention though.
Intervention?
Mm-hmm.
What
I decided
happened?
that I was playing too
Oh.
much.
Yeah.
He was.
I was overexhausting myself and I was playing
Mm-hmm.
so much. Well, first, I just have an obsession with like sports and activity after work in general.
Which is good to an
Yes.
extent.
It is because we sit all day. Like, hence, right
Yeah.
now, we are literally sitting
I agree.
and we film, we edit, we meet. A lot of it is sitting down. So I like my 3 hours of activity after work.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's too much extraneous activity without focusing on the things that are
The
necessary,
recovery.
like eating.
Right.
Eating food.
I was gonna say I feel like that's probably your biggest fall on it is that you're like doing so much physical activity and then you're eating like Oreos and
Well-
the Trader Joe's fried rice.
There's some truth to that, but I also calculated it out. If I want to maintain this level of activity and be gaining muscle, I have to eat 3,400 calories a day.
Yeah, but I feel like
Right, but that's not nutrients.
Right, you have to have nutrients.
Well,
Yes.
you
to back
also
that up.
need the Oreos in there to get to that calorie level.
Right, but where are you getting the nutrients?
No,
That's the
I
question.
wasn't.
I feel like there's also other places you can get high calories besides of eating an entire box of
It
Oreos.
is
dirty
hard. I will
bulking
say
is
that
a
it is
thing.
hard.
It is very hard.
That's why it's called dirty bulking, right?
Yeah.
'Cause it-
Yeah,
I
but
think
everyone who
it's-
dirty bulks is very unhappy.
What'd you say?
And they just hate their life.
Yeah, like dirty bulk. Like it's. I mean, I'm not like a fitness account.
Nor
but I feel
are
like
we a
it's like
fitness
cheat.
podcast.
Account? Is that just what you're like? I'm not a fitness account.
It's like a cheat thing, like people do. They're like,
It's
oh, it's
tough.
the easiest way to do
It's
it.
so hard. Well, so the main source of vegetables were from my fried rice. And the little
Like the
pieces
little-
of
I was gonna
edamame and
say.
carrot shreds in my Trader
And
Joe's
there's
fried
not
rice.
a lot of vegetables in those.
So I played tennis yesterday, or the other day. I played tennis 2 days ago. Very hard tennis, and then I went to play pickleball afterwards.
Oh my gosh.
And I played until 10:30, and then I went home, and I just couldn't fall asleep because like my body was just so sore. I didn't have enough food, and then the whole like.
I know exactly what you're talking about, though. Like when your legs just feel like they need to be stretched, but they can't, and you're like, it's
So
also a
for-
magnesium.
5 hours. I literally was tossing and turning, and I was just like, I cannot do this anymore. And I got up,
That was your breaking point.
and I
No,
looked at my
when
phone,
I tell you
and
that-
it was 4 a.m. when you told us what.
I literally walked downstairs, like me, however, not having played pickleball that night. I did see a horror movie, but I like woke up, walked downstairs, and keep in mind, I heard someone get up at like 4 a.m.
She was like,
It was the devil!
and I was like, who is like in the kitchen? This was after the horror
Who
movie.
do you think was in the
Well, this is
kitchen?
after she saw the horror movie with
Because
the
Cole
devil.
never gets up that early.
Okay, you should be way more alarmed then if you think you heard someone in your kitchen and you were convinced it wasn't Cole and you guys live alone.
She's
You're like, huh,
who is in the kitchen?
who is that?
She was on edge.
Someone's
Anyway.
breaking in.
But then I come downstairs and Cole literally is eating like a
Okay, she didn't come downstairs while I was eating my apple.
no, not the apple, the
What?
second meal. He got to have an apple and
Second
peanut
meal?
butter. But then I
At
came
4 a.m.
down
That was
at-
my snack. I literally ate a whole apple and peanut butter. And
Like when you say that, like it's like a giant.
at
dish.
4
A
a.m.
whole apple.
The biggest snack ever, a whole apple.
But then I come
That was like
downstairs.
700% of my weekly vegetables.
That's
a fruit.
And fruits. Dang.
I come down at like 7:30 and I'm like refreshed, ready for the day. And I literally was like, what smells like Italian food? And Cole's literally at 7:30 eating a full bowl of gnocchi like and tomato sauce and then he's like literally like he's like slumped like over on the like table and he literally looks up at me and goes, I have decided I am not playing pickleball until 10:30 anymore. And I was like, oh, rough night.
It was a rough night. And then coming to work, I had to like take a nap here. Like I literally felt so
wow.
sick. I had to go home.
Yeah.
If
Well-
Eden said she would have taken a nap at work, I would have been like, oh, it's a normal day at work. But me taking a nap is crazy.
I literally don't nap at work anymore.
Yeah, I feel like
And
the
that
amount of
joke
times that
needs
you
to
have
die. You
also napped at
surpassed
the
me.
studio.
You have surpassed
I have not
me.
surpassed.
Oh yes, you have.
Surpassed means I've done it more than you.
This
Accumulatively.
year you have. I have not.
That's not surpassed then.
I'm just saying. I had a medically diagnosed problem that was physically causing me to fall asleep to the point where if I was driving, I would have to pull off on the road to take a quick 10-minute nap so that I could keep driving.
Okay.
You just played too much pickleball.
Welcome to the Eden pity party. Her neck. She's medically taking naps.
Okay, we have some stories we need to get into
Yeah,
because
I
I
was-
want to hear about Hawaii. I want to tell you about the dinner.
Oh, that's
And
right.
then I want to hear about the horror movie.
Okay, let's start with the horror movie
Okay.
because
That's
the
where we left
Hawaii
off.
and the dinner are the big ticket
Okay.
items.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Gotta
let me
get that
just
retention in there.
give a little teaser. There's a story about Hawaii that I didn't even tell them over text because it was like the most insane experience I have ever had at a restaurant, and I just like still am reeling from the fact that I actually like had this happen to me.
Oh,
So
the Thai food incident?
yes.
Oh, I
Did-
thought the story was just that you got good Thai food.
No, like
There's
there
a
was
story?
like we went to this restaurant just as a teaser. We went to the restaurant one night, things seemed normal. We went back the next night and like it was a scene out of a movie. I couldn't even like I was
Wait,
flabbergasted.
just give us the teaser. What genre of movie?
Like when you realize that you were actually in like a psycho thriller.
Whoa.
But I saw a psycho thriller.
Well, perfect segue, Eden. Take it away.
Okay, so last week I said that I was seeing Long Legs.
Daddy,
Daddy
long
long
legs.
It's not Daddy Long Legs. It
Daddy
is-
Nicolas Cage.
It is just Long Legs.
Wait, okay, why was it called Long Legs? Can you answer that?
Okay, so here's the thing. I did see the movie, but I really didn't see the movie.
Interesting.
That's
So-
kind of a contradiction.
Did you fall asleep?
No.
This
And-
is Harry's impersonation of how Eden watched the movie.
For those listening, Cole is curled up in the fetal position.
Yeah.
So basically, I said that I didn't want to see the movie anymore, and I told him no. And I was like, and this is my friend Harry who asked me. And I was like, actually, I changed my mind after doing some research. Like, I think it's too scary.
This is after we tried to tell her this on the podcast, and she's like, I did my research. I'm going to the movie. I know everything that happens.
Right, because I thought because I knew the plot that
Like
I
it
was
wouldn't
like,
be as
Did
scary.
you look up the Common Sense Media thing?
no, that's the one thing I forgot to
should
do.
have.
And
Like
I
the, is this okay for
always-
kids?
Yeah,
I
you
always
need
look
you
that
need to
up.
see if it's okay for kids.
And for what reasons?
And basically, I decided that I was going to go, and I went with my two other friends as well. So there were 4 of us. And I was like, okay, there's another girl going, and her name's Ashton. So I was like, I feel like if she's going, I can go. Because
Eden
she's
said
like,
if another girl can watch the movie.
No,
yeah,
but, like,
what
you're
is
good.
that trying to say?
because, no, but
You
like,
think guys are better at handling horror movies?
yes. And
Wow.
she also was like, she's a lot more like timid than me, I feel like. And like, yeah, she's
Like a
very,
little bit more
like,
spooked.
yeah, like she was like
Well,
very
what?
Easier
like
to spook.
spooked.
Easier to spook.
So we go to the theater, and I apparently did not do enough research on this movie. And I was like, I'm just going to give you a warning now. One, I'm going to try to say it without spoiling it, but like if you are
No, you
intending
can
on
spoil
seeing
it.
it.
No,
Okay.
but-
This
No,
is
she
spoilers
means
for
she
Daddy
means
Long
more
Spoiler
like a
alert.
graphic warning.
No,
Yeah,
you
she
mean
means both.
spoiler.
Both. And then
Both.
second warning is I am going to be talking a little bit about how gruesome it was. So two spoiler and gruesome warning.
Go
You've been
in.
warned.
Go in.
It's PG-13. We decided that.
Basically, and this is what's crazy. This was like the doll maker if we were rated R. The whole movie,
You
they
cannot
Meaning
use
what?
that.
Like what?
What?
He literally was a doll maker. That was the whole. He kept calling himself
Wait,
the
that's
doll
scary
maker.
for you to watch it because you lived that.
That's what I'm saying.
Nicolas Cage.
He was
He
a doll
was
maker?
a doll maker.
Okay.
And he would create these dolls as the devil and
Oh.
put a
What?
piece of devil inside the doll.
And then, like, give it to a child?
And give it to a child.
That's scary. I would have been freaked out just
Then
with
it
that alone.
possesses the whole family, and then it possesses the dad first to murder the little girls in the house.
And he actually does?
Yes, like multiple times, like throughout the whole movie. So then it just like shows these.
Okay, you don't have to go that far. We have to be able to monetize this. Jeez, Eden.
So I literally was like, again,
I
the
can't
whole
believe that.
the whole plot was like CSIS investigation, and it was like
CSIS.
So they're trying to
I'm
figure
dyslexic.
out like who
Right.
is like murdering these
But-
people,
right,
or
but the whole
unaliving these
thing-
people.
the whole thing was that like no one ever got into the house, so there's no proof of murder. So like how did
Even
like,
though everyone was not alive.
right, but they meant there were no like weapons of the
Okay.
murderer.
Right.
So anyways, I didn't realize it was satanic. I am
I-
okay
yeah.
with horror movies and like
It's a
jump
vampire. It's
scares,
crazy.
or
It's
even if
haunted.
they're just like
It's
Right.
gross.
psychotic. Like if
Yeah.
it's literally just like, oh,
They're
she's
just a psycho murderer.
psychotic.
And mental illness.
This was so satanic. I have never witnessed like full on like I don't even want to say it, but like
The devil
the
coming
devil.
alive.
Like it was everything, and they just kept like using satanic
Eden
words.
said, I rebuke
like,
this
no,
film.
no, wait. So we're watching this. So then I got to the point where I started covering my eyes with my knees.
I thought you were gonna say crying the way you held your hands up.
Pretty close.
Well, someone in the group did start crying.
Ashton
Oh.
had gotten up, and then she had left the theater.
She got
so
too
then
scared?
I was like, okay, I'll just like go with Ashton because like if she's gonna go watch like
You're like,
Minions
I'll just
or
go check
something,
on her.
like someone should probably go check on her. Me just throwing her name.
I was
out.
gonna say that.
I was like, maybe we should blur out the names. So she goes, then she comes back, and this was probably like 15 minutes into the movie, and she was like, I googled the plot, so I'm okay. So then I was like,
Keep in mind, Eden also Googled the
right.
plot.
So then I was like, okay, well, if like she's good, I'm good.
Okay, where do the long legs come into play?
I kept joking that. Well, no, I won't say that.
So-
I don't know
Was he
why.
just
it's
tall?
called
He
long
just
legs.
was tall.
So I also asked
he was
Eden.
the devil, so it was supposed to be like the devil's tall, and
No,
Is
I
the devil
definitely
tall?
don't think that that's why it's called long legs.
because he literally kept being like, I put on my long legs today, and like,
Or
Long
the
legs
dolls
must
have long
be
legs?
must be a saying. Okay, so I asked Eden. 'Cause she like texted me. She's like, "Where are you? Why are you at the house right now?" When she got back,
wait, last thing for the movie.
Okay,
When
yeah.
we got out, there was a lady praying outside the movie theater.
yeah, I feel like that's probably a good idea.
And like that's what like everyone was saying about this movie was they're like it genuinely felt like it like left evil like with you.
ooh, so like you might be haunted or possessed.
No, like the devil's in us.
That's what the kink is in your neck.
Maybe.
Oh my god, get it out!
But it just was like so unsettling. And so then that's why I was like I wasn't scared, but I was like disturbed.
Disturbed. Yeah, I don't understand like when people make movies like that because there's a couple other horror movies in that genre where I can just tell that they were like satanic and like weird. Where I'm like, who sat down and was like, I have a great idea for this movie.
So I asked Eden. I was like, "Why did you stay?" And she was like, "I wish I didn't have. I wish I would have left." I was like, "Why didn't you just get up and leave?" And she was like, "Because I didn't want to make Harry feel bad."
Well,
you
I
picked the
didn't,
movie.
'cause
That is such. If you are watching this and you put yourself in a position so someone else doesn't feel bad, you don't gotta do that. You don't gotta do that.
I know I could have left, but at that point I was like I was already covering the screen with my knees for the whole movie. And Tyler was like it was just like ASMR movie.
No, I said the audible version.
Oh, the audible version.
Eden said that was a lot of slime squishing.
No, like it literally was so weird because I was like, thank God I covered it because genuinely I think I would have been in a lot worse of a position if I had actually watched.
Images.
Yeah, like, and thankfully, like, I did not. But
'Cause what could you see?
So from above my knees, I could see like a lot of blood splatting, and then like a
Ew,
couple
I
like
hate movies like that.
weird. I
Is
don't
it
know.
one
Like,
guy smashed his nose against the wall intentionally?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm just picturing in your head you trying to like make nice versions of the scenes that you're hearing. So someone's like cutting, and you're just imagining a chef
I'm like,
in a
oh,
kitchen.
is that a kitchen? No, literally, this was
Dude, it's a juicy piece of tofu he's cutting.
just for perspective. I texted Tyler's friend, the one that he mentioned last week, and I said,
Who
Ty-
couldn't sleep for a week after
Yeah.
watching this movie.
I said, Tyler said you saw long legs, cry face, and he said, girl, are you okay? And then I said,
Well, first he put the salsa dancing emoji in 3D.
I don't know how he did that. And then I said, unwell, I wish I had a time machine. He said, the beginning.
I wish I had a time machine.
I wish I had a time machine. He's at the beginning.
What?
Why did you do it after Cole did it?
This is like a thing. He said, I love horror movies. Oh, I have a hard time. He doesn't love horror.
Okay, Eden's just fact checker is
Complete
false.
opposite.
Listen. He said,
Listen.
He said, I have a hard time with horror movies, but my brother loves them. But girl, the beginning when he drops into camera, my spirit left my body. It took me a week for me not to see him every single day. And then I said, I was trying to describe it to Tyler, and he was like, what is going on?
When he drops into, what does that even mean?
And then he goes, oh, Tyler could never. I can't even get him to successfully watch Scream 4.
Wait, can you not?
I mean, I watched, I think, the first Scream.
You
but-
know Scream's not even a
Scream's
horror
not a horror
movie.
movie.
Yeah, I know.
So why are you
kinda
trying to
is.
get you to watch Scream 4? And you
It's just
can't.
not my favorite, okay?
I mean, it's still like there's like the scenes that are like so creepy in Scream 4. So I think,
Scream's also like graphic.
But it's
too.
more,
Yeah.
the graphic. Like, I'm just like, I don't need to see that.
and like people are still screaming. Like it's still like it. Like,
Oh, really? They scream in Scream 4?
But it still puts you in that like fight or flight, like where you're just kind of like, okay,
Dude,
this
that
sounds
whole,
fun. Yeah.
my heart rate was sitting
Have you
at
seen-
84 throughout that movie.
The Jenny Ortega clips.
No, it looks good though. I would see it for sure.
I want to see Twister.
I want to see Twister.
I
too.
want.
Twisters.
There's so many. Yeah, there's
Twisters,
2
you're right.
Twisters. I want to see a lot of movies this weekend.
I want to see Twisters because Benson Boone has a song in it.
I want to see
How
it.
could something so lovely be so scary?
I want to see it in 40X, but we don't have a
know,
40X.
have you
theater.
seen
seen
the
the
clips?
clips?
Travel to California to go see a 40X movie.
People are being thrown in the Twister.
Do you have to
seats.
wear seatbelts in that?
I don't think
doubt
so.
it.
They
I-
are
in the
like getting
Twister clip-
whipped around in the Twisters.
If Eden didn't have a kink now, she would after she saw
There's like
Twisters.
rain and wind. It looks so fun.
Yeah. I want to hear about the movie Tyler lived last night though, where he met up with a bunch of strangers for dinner.
Did you know he was doing this?
I just saw you add group dinner to the calendar, and I was like, this is very vague.
Okay, so I got an ad on Instagram.
Oh gosh.
All good ideas start with an ad on Instagram.
And it was like, hey, do you want to come have dinner with 5 strangers?
Oh, that's a good ad though.
That's almost as scary as my horror movie.
So I clicked on it and I was like, what is this? Like, I'm curious. I want to know what it is. So I signed up for it. It was $16.
I feel like you're gonna one day accidentally sign yourself up for a cult.
Well, I was thinking either
Okay, can we stop talking about the Satan movie?
a cult or a reality TV show. That was my other thought. I was
I
like,
told them this is how they would film the second season of Jury Duty.
right. I was like, it could be that.
Like they couldn't do Jury Duty, but they could do 5 strangers at a dinner.
Because the way that it works is you signed up and you did a whole like personality analysis. So I had
Okay.
to put my like, you know, my
Social security
my
number.
social security number,
The last 4
my
of
credit
his.
card, my star sign, and then it was like a personality test. So they said their pitch was that it was like the perfect combination of people at the table.
Okay, that's kind of interesting.
It's a good pitch.
So-
was it? Or was it like the weirdest people ever?
Well, okay, so I didn't know going in. Like that's what I thought. I was like, it's either not going to be a good match or it's going to be a really good match. But the place was like this really tiny Italian restaurant.
Okay.
Oh.
Bella Ciao.
Close. It was called. Actually, should I say it?
No.
Oh, well, how far away was it?
It was like in Phoenix.
Oh, you
No,
could
it
say
doesn't
it.
matter. We don't need to give names.
Okay, I won't say. It was very Italian
Okay.
sounding. I'll just say that. And it was like
Banco de Beppos.
Yeah. What's the one place with the big menu?
Buca de Becco's.
Oh, no, Cheesecake Factory.
Oh.
You're like, it was this really authentic Italian restaurant.
Okay, but anyway, so I get there. One, the app messed up. It was supposed to be.
Okay, Dua
Oh.
Lipa.
It was supposed to be 6 people, but for some reason I walked in. I was like, oh, which one is table 2? Because they said that there was going to be multiple tables.
You walked up to the wrong table?
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't walk up, but there was 2 tables, and then there were already 6 people at one table and 5 people at another.
Oh.
So then they were like, okay.
It was
It was
like,
like a-
choose your right table or
you
fill
were
in
the
the...
social experiment.
So you asked and you're like, which table are you guys? They're like, table 2.
Right. And then the other ones were like, oh, we're table 1, but we're missing a person. So
It was like, do you sit with your perfectly
Right.
curated
Yes,
table?
that's exactly
or
what it was like.
do you take an adventure and then go
Right.
to the other table?
like I felt like I was being
Like,
put
they all
in
were
a
there to like
situ-
see what your
Yeah.
your
This
rank
is
was.
jury duty.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you guys, which one do you think? What would you have done in that situation with that thought process?
Oh, I would have gone to the table I was supposed to.
I
I
probably
would have just filled in. You're making a first impression on all these people. I don't want to be the person like, you're in my spot.
I probably would
Did
have.
you?
I probably would have asked to be like, is someone like in charge with like a list or
No,
something?
no one there. Like the people had no idea what was going
And
on.
everyone
I
at the-
probably would have sat at the other table. I probably would have been like, oh, I probably would have gone over to the other table and been like, oh, is this table 2? And then go like, oh, we're full. Then I probably would be like, okay, like, no, that's totally fine. I'll go.
Oh my gosh. I feel like you said that trying to be honest, then you realize how sad it sounded halfway through.
No, like that's what would have happened. Like that's what I would have done.
No, that's totally fine. I'm just used to being stepped on everywhere.
She's like, it's okay, it's okay. No, so I was like, okay, well, which
This
one?
is giving Edith social anxiety and she's not even there.
Oh, just wait till you hear my story.
I was like, which one's table 2? Because that's the one I was assigned.
Right.
That's the one they told me.
Yeah, it was like a personality based thing.
Right.
That's if it was just meeting up with strangers, then if it was more broad, I probably would have just sat
Right.
wherever. But if it was specifically curated, like I definitely would have been like, hi, like I think I'm table 2 because like that's what like my app said, and then just kind of like hope that they would be like, oh yeah, girl, pull up a chair.
There's also only 12 of you guys total. So like the odds of it being like so specifically curated is pretty slim, I feel like.
Okay, but continue.
Okay, so I sat down at table 2 because I was like, this is the one that they said that was going to be assigned to. So I was just like, I'll just grab a chair and pull up. Like, that's fine.
Okay.
There were like 7 of us.
Okay,
Like,
but you
I
didn't
wasn't
kick
gonna
out the
kick
person.
anyone
Right.
out.
Okay.
Plus, they were all dead set that they were like, we're table 2, so they all wanted to be there
So
too.
you're like, this
Okay.
is my people.
Right. So I sat down at that table, and I didn't realize, well, I knew the other people was the other table, but after looking back, our group, I think, was pretty well matched. Like, I feel like
Good.
they did a
That's
really good
so
job
weird.
with our group.
That's so fun,
because
though.
we were even joking after the fact, like, as we were all talking, that we were like, oh, we were like the like more serious, more intimate group, but the other group was like the more like they were a little bit younger and they were way more extroverted and
Like
outgoing.
laughing
Okay.
Yeah,
and
and
like
so even we kept kind of joking about that we had like a war with them. We're like, oh, table 2's the better table.
Oh, you were at the right table then. Oh my god.
So it was like a very good mix, but there was someone there that knew you guys.
I know, that's
Which is
crazy.
I know.
Wait, okay.
She is a good match for you.
I
as
know,
a
like
friend.
when you said that, low
Oh.
key.
I'm hearing you guys already talked about this. I was
No,
told we
I
were
texted-
He
allowed to
I
texted.
texted
He texted last
afterwards.
night.
At the time it happened.
Yeah.
Well, it was afterwards. So, okay, so this was the cool thing. So everyone sits down, right?
Okay.
So you're having this dinner with this group of people. They're your new BFFs. It's the perfect match. The AI gods all got you together. Then the way that it works, and this is kind of the creepy part. This is what I don't like. Okay, so apparently all throughout...
So you have to
Apparently-
marry one of them.
apparently the way the AI... It just stopped.
I was wondering why you stopped so suddenly.
I was like,
Did
you're
the
like, they're
double-
watching
Apparently,
me.
the AI.
Okay.
Should I be telling them this?
So this is the part. This is where it gets creepy with like AI. So the way that it works, everyone signs up, right? AI uses it to like analyze everyone's personality. But I didn't realize what was happening. But behind the scenes, there were other groups at other restaurants all having their own individual dinner across Phoenix. So we're all sitting here like we weren't the only group. We were just the ones that were assigned to this table.
So you weren't just 12.
Right. It wasn't just 12. Like, it was
Okay.
the whole group. Then afterwards, everybody from all the other places meet up at a bar afterwards. So we all come together and then share like our stories. And, like,
So
it was,
how
like,
many
this-
were you?
This is kind of
Yeah,
fun.
it was fun.
This is
How
literally
many
like
were-
I
how
this
many
is
were
a-
you?
didn't like that.
Well, it's just kind of weird that like everyone was having like
Yeah.
this
Oh,
experience.
the same,
and that
like,
it
just,
was-
like,
What's
watch
cool
it.
about
Right,
it is
but it
you
was
kind of were a
cool.
part of an art experience. Too.
Right.
Like it wasn't just dinner. Like it literally was like
It's like human connection.
Yes.
an art,
Like,
human art of like all of these
Okay.
people coming together.
Wait,
And-
wait,
I kinda
wait.
low-key
So
love it.
how many people were at the bar? Like
So
once you all
afterwards,
met up.
once we got there, it was really crowded. Like it was a lot
you,
of people in there.
You all went to the bar at the same time.
Right,
after?
that's what I mean. Like everyone
Whoa.
shows up.
Did you get like
at
a
the
text
time.
like go to the bar?
Yeah.
And you didn't know?
No, they didn't tell you. Like they said there was going to. Once I signed up for the meal, then it started giving me information. It was like
Interesting.
because they didn't tell
This
me what the
literally was
restaurant.
basically an art
Okay, I
exhibit.
kinda wanna go now.
I know it was fun. I liked it. I'm gonna go again.
That's so fun. Okay, wait, but you met someone that knew them.
Yeah. So
Did they just know based off your last name or your
no. So I said.
She beat me in pickleball.
I also
Did
didn't
she?
know like how well you knew them.
Wait, we're talking about the girl from which one? Did you recently play her?
She was in my tournament last week.
What?
She was the one that won.
Was she? Are you
No,
sure? No, I don't think
that's
so.
not.
It didn't sound good. She
That's,
said
that's not her.
Cole asked her to play doubles once.
Yes.
And then afterwards, she bumped into you guys moving somebody out of their
Yes.
house.
So that's so cool.
Yeah,
like,
so it
just,
was
like,
fun.
do you think that there are
Wait,
other
how
people
did
there
it come
that you
up
keep in
that?
touch?
How did it come up that you met?
Wait, so she didn't beat me in pickleball. We did confirm this. Different
Oh,
different
sorry.
girl.
I
So I
forgot.
sat
Yeah.
down at the table. Okay, so this was the other thing that was kind of fun. Was everyone put their jobs ahead of time? So we all had
Oh, okay.
the type of job everyone did, but it wasn't assigned to
And
anyone.
it was industry.
Right.
Like it just gave you a pie chart.
Also,
right?
how old was the oldest person there?
So-
Okay. Well,
Well, hold on. I'll get to that in a second.
spoilers. You're jumping ahead, Pookie.
So afterwards, we had to guess what everyone did
Okay.
because like it just said the list. So it was like, oh, I think you're the finance person.
Oh, that's
you're
so,
the
this
like
is such a
art
like
person.
experiment.
Uh-huh. So then everyone was trying to figure out who the social media person was because they were like most curious about that. So first they looked at the one girl who was kind of the stereotypical.
That's how
social
she
media-
knew?
Influencer.
And then so then afterwards, then this girl that we're talking about, we'll just call her
Stephanie.
Stephanie. Then Stephanie, she kept looking at me, and I noticed that she was looking over at me. And
Which
then
people
also
outside of our
doesn't help.
family say that Tyler and I look
That's what I
very
was
similar.
and then
Okay.
that's what she said. Was
She's
she
probably
was
trying
like,
to wonder if you were Cole.
yeah, she said when you walked in at first, I thought you were Cole. Because
Which is crazy to me.
afterwards, when I had said I was in social media, then she was like, "Do you have a brother?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Do you also have a sister?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Are their names Cole and Eden?" And I was like, "No." And then she was like, "Oh, I play pickleball with Cole."
That's
so
funny.
funny. Which is like, I get like we have similar family facial structures, whatever. Like I've got blonde hair, you have black hair, you have a beard, I'm hairless on my face. I feel like we look very different as people, but maybe not.Maybe that's just our interpretations of ourselves.
I don't know. I feel like I don't see you guys looking that much alike where I would be able to be like,
And
oh,
people ask twins
All the time.
literally wherever
I
we
get
go.
people asking me if I'm Tyler, and Tyler gets people asking me if I'm Cole.
We've
or
had it
like they'll
mixed
just
up.
they
Yeah.
just think that you are each other. Like they'll be like, oh, I just saw you this morning back already, and we're
Well,
like, no,
especially-
you saw my brother.
In pickleball, like I've been out in public, and then people have come up to me and been like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I'll be like, "What?" And they'll be like, "So you're gonna be on the court?" They call it court.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, "You're talking to the wrong person."
Oh my god! Speaking of pickleball,
Well, are we? Is that all you had from the?
Yeah, I mean that was honestly it. It was just a lot of good conversation. Like I said,
What
art.
was the ratio of like girls to guys?
So it was half and half.
Which is interesting because I feel like as a girl, if I saw an ad that was like, come get dinner with 5 mysterious strangers, I'd be like, well, someone's gonna try to kidnap me.
Right. I
yeah,
could
I know,
see
me
that.
too.
And then there was also a game that you could play on the app where it was just like questions. So we kind of went through some of those
Okay.
questions, but we also had just
Cool.
conversation. It was honestly
It was a good
very
time.
chill.
That's
yeah.
fine.
Okay,
I liked
so
it.
speaking of pickleball, quick little tangent. The other night I was playing pickleball,
Okay.
and I have beef with my local pickleball men at my courts. I just
Well,
think,
that is quite a statement.
I do. These old men are
Oh, you're just gonna keep beating on them.
they are so like judgmental and just like
How old are we talking? Like old, like in their 70s or like just like they're like 50s?
Because
like-
when it's pickleball, it could be any age.
like
Right.
50 plus.
Okay.
So
Okay, they
like
would
the
be very
middle-aged men,
offended that you
like,
called them
old.
old men.
Well, then they
50.
shouldn't be
I think
acting
that's-
like old men.
Old
50
people.
plus. I would say that's old men.
I mean, when I think old men, I think like
Geriatrics,
70s.
yeah.
Like that would be like old.
Okay. Anyways, so when I first started playing pickleball, I was not that good, but everyone has to start somewhere. Cole was really good. He just was good. He didn't have his flop era. He just was good. But
What can I say? I'm very talented.
all of these like guys would make the most like
I'm sorry, guys are old men. Pick a side.
they would make the most like condescending comments about like, oh, like leave pickleball to your brother. Like they were like, one guy literally told me I like had a really good shot with the guy that I was with, and the other guy told my partner, and he was like, don't get used to it. That was just luck. She never plays that good.
Oh my God.
That's
At a
brutal.
recreational?
Yes, like at a public court. And so like I was so discouraged for such a long time. And like I literally was like in therapy telling my therapist that I was like, I cannot go to these parks because they cause me like so much anxiety from like the men there. And so then I started getting good at pickleball. And
In her
villain era.
redemption era.
and I literally like pickled this guy that had like continuously been nagging on me for so long.
For those who are not familiar with the terminology, when you
Oh,
pickle
good.
someone,
Good catch.
it's when you wipe the board with the points.
Oh,
like
I
they
didn't
have
know this is
zero.
an
So it's
actual
like
term.
0 to 10.
Yeah, it's
So
like
I
you were just
scored
saying.
11.
11.
Because
Yeah.
you go to 11.
Right. So I scored 11 points on
And
him.
he had 0.
And he had 0.
That's
embarrassing.
brutal.
And like he would always only refer to me as like Cole's sister. Like he would never call me my name. Like he always was like Cole's sister, Cole's sister. And then one time my friend was there and she literally was like, Cole's sister actually has a name and it's Eden. So if you would like to use it, it is Eden. And I'm thanks, Sierra. I'm Sierra. And she was like,
Eden's going crazy with the
I know.
name drops today.
But like she like stood up for me so much that I think like that rattled him already when he was like, oh, like the girls are a girl and whatever.
Oh,
Oh,
whose phone?
Pick
Pick
it
it up.
Do you want me to?
Who is
Yep,
it?
who is it?
It's spam. You can yell at them.
we can
Okay.
tell them they're on the podcast.
Okay, here you go, Eden.
Hello.
Hi, is this Cole?
No, it's not. Who is this?
My name's Robert. I'm calling from Coastal Resolve. Did I get the right place, the Scories LLC?
No.
Oh, I apologize. I'll go ahead and mark it off as a wrong number. Sorry for disrupting your day.
Yeah, thanks.
Why?
Oh, okay, it wasn't true. Was that an actual thing?
No.
Oh,
It scared me
He's
when
just
you said
acting
wait.
like he's doing us a service when he's berating me.
I literally thought it was an actual thing when he said the name of it. I was like, oh my god. I was like, is this an actual service? That was so scary. You can't see our faces if you're listening. We were all like terrified, and Eden's just like talking
But
as a
you
gremlin.
should watch our face because even if you're listening on Spotify, there's a video option where
Oh,
you
there
can
is
watch
one.
the video.
Oh, I
Okay, anyways, to wrap up my
Wait,
I'm just gonna say
that one guy. Wait, I have to say on that one guy. He literally is gonna get off the call and be like, "Bro, I just called this poor smoker lady and interrupted her."
that also did not help your case that you aren't possessed by the devil. I'm just saying.
It's very true. I've done that super low voice since I was like a literal child.
You've been
literally.
possessed by the devil since you were a child.
Maybe. Anyways, well, so this is where I feel guilty. I was playing with my other arch nemesis. Cannot stand this guy.
Ah.
Cannot stand him. Okay.
Eden, I've also tried to tell her this, but I'm like, you need to separate yourself from how
The
these
pickleball?
pickleball people see you. Because she'll literally come up the course and after, I hate that guy. I want to pick on him.
Dude, it's because they're like, okay, please stop making me look like I'm possessed. This guy literally is so
He
rude.
is, and he's annoying to me too. Like I play with him, and he's like obnoxious.
Yeah, so why subject yourself to that and not just leave?
I do. I don't play with him again, and I don't complain about it
Anyways.
after.
I was playing with him and I hit a short ball.
What does that mean?
Like it fell like right in the kitchen, so I hit it.
It's like
What
a
does
little.
that
all the
mean?
way
It's
back.
like,
It was
it's like a little
right
sneaky
in
right
front
over
of
the net.
It was
Okay.
right in front of the net,
And he's
And-
back at the court.
and he's at the back of the
Okay.
court. So he was trying to run for it, and he fell.
Oh, did you start laughing?
Eden.
What?
Did you start laughing?
No.
He is old. He's like in his 60s.
But then he was so mad at me and my teammate, like so mad. And I literally, like, I ran over and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And I like went to like go give him a hand to like help him up. Like I was, and it wasn't like I intentionally even. It just was how the
it
ball.
happens.
Yeah, it's pickleball.
I think her exact words were, "Oh no, he fall and he can't get up."
And then after we were done playing, and again, he literally like yelled at my teammate, and he was like, I literally wasn't ready for the serve. Like, could you maybe pay attention and like look when like you're serving or whatever? She was like, sorry, like I'll redo it. We were done, and we went to go say good game to him, and I was like, good game, and I like went to tap his paddle, and he literally pulled his paddle away from me.
Oh my god, what a baby!
and then went,
loser.
and then I went, good game, and he goes, I wouldn't call it that, and then walked off the court.
He's annoying.
And me and the girl literally were like, we did not just witness that. And we're like, a public. Like, I get if it's like
crazy.
you're like in a private court or something. Like you were invited. I'm like, we're literally in a recreational public court. Like,
right. Like you're playing for what?
Yeah,
It's-
that's
No,
for
literally.
nothing.
Just for fake
For
clout.
literally nothing.
Community clout.
That's honestly why I don't like playing at the public courts, because I don't like playing with other people, because I'm like, I don't enjoy the fact that they get so competitive. Where I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm here for the vibes
but
and
there
have
are
a good time.
good people. Like there are. You just have to. And if you're ever thinking about playing pickleball, go to your courts because.
After you just spent the last 10 minutes talking about how awful
But
all
I
the men
will
are.
say the percentage of like bad to good is
Sure.
so skewed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I literally love going to my local court now because I know like 10 people that I genuinely like get excited to see, and a lot of them are like literally like moms and like
So wait, who are the girls you're
dads.
going with tonight? Just pickleball.
New group that I
people?
met from my tournament, and she invited me to a different
Oh.
park. But the problem is, guys, this is a park that my arch nemesis
Oh.
plays.
Oh, no!
yikes.
But you guys should all wear like matching tracksuits and then roll up together and then
Be
beat
like-
him.
Yeah,
Posse.
I'm a little scared. I'm not gonna lie, but I am
It's
not
gonna
going to
happen
spend
eventually.
my life avoiding. Also, technically, I sent the last text, so it's on him.
Oh,
he
that
knows.
Wait,
arch
I thought it was your
nemesis?
Yeah.
Oh.
She
Wait, he has
put
like
gas on the flames.
domain over this specific park. You know he's going to be there.
Well, he stopped going to the park that I played at because I
Oh,
was
so
there.
now you're going to
so
his
now I'm going
territory.
to
Yeah.
his territory, but I have the one up because I sent the last text.
See, again, there's
Oh.
you don't have to have a one up on anyone.
So what I'm hearing is that this is gonna be like the West Side Story
Right,
of
a
pickleball,
pickleball.
tonight.
Okay, that would be a
Except-
good movie.
Instead of dancing, there's paddles.
There's
Paddles
West Side
involved.
Pickle.
Yeah, well, just so we don't run out of time here, let's give Gabriella the talking stick.
The talking stick. Thank you. I am going to just tell the Thai story. Okay.
Okay.
Overall, Hawaii was absolutely amazing. It was the most relaxing, wonderful, spectacular
It was
trip.
a dream.
It was a dream.
Doesn't it?
I
It
had
just
such an
literally feels
amazing
like a
time.
dream.
It was.
Did you see the trees?
It was wonderful. We did see the trees.
Isn't
We
that
didn't
the
get to
coconut
go.
trees?
We didn't get to go into the park to see them. We just saw them on the side of the
Yeah,
road.
that's all we
but
did
yeah,
too.
It was so fun. So
These trees look like they're painted.
they're like
They have
rainbow.
strips of like very vivid
Did
colors.
you see any coconut trees?
Yes, we did.
You
actually.
think you fall out of a coconut
Yeah.
tree?
Honestly, while I was gone, there was really quickly the whole outage of like Microsoft happened the day after I left. Thank goodness we were so lucky that we did
You
not have
were.
that affect our
Like
flights.
hours
There were-
before it was affecting. You probably started to get the beginning of it because you were
Our flight
delayed.
was delayed. And then there were people that were stuck in Hawaii that we kept talking that couldn't get flights until like a week later.
Oh my god.
Is that a bad
Yeah,
thing
that's
though?
right.
Well, here's the thing. It could be good if like you were okay to financially like float the boat for yourself,
Right.
because people were having a hard time getting money from the airlines to
'Cause
be
there
able
were
to
so
stay
many.
because there's so many people. So after the fact, I'm sure they're able to get their bag, but like it was crazy. But anyway, so I was very lucky to have missed that. But then I freaking checked my phone one day and find out that Kamala is running for president, and that was crazy.
Well, not only that, but Joe Biden stepped
Yeah, that he
down.
stepped down. I was like,
and he's not running for president.
I follow this stupid
Okay,
American
Hamilton.
girl. I follow this stupid American Girl doll page, and like,
Oh, I thought you were about to say you fought this stupid American
I know,
girl.
that's what I was trying to say. That's one sentence. It's this American Girl doll meme page, but she
Are
literally
you
posted.
for?
If you get it, you get it.
I know what you're talking about. It's like where they put
It's like
the
Felicity
news,
or whatever.
but it's
Yeah,
like,
and
yeah.
so she posted, and she was like, "If this is how you found out that President Joe Biden stepped down, be honest." And I was like, What?
Yeah.
I got it as a text from my phone.
From Joe Biden.
No, like
My
it was like
phone
an
from
alert.
Joe. Hey, Ty.
Yeah,
I'm
honestly, I
thinking
probably
about.
was from Joe Biden. I get texts from him all the time.
Dude,
I got mine from the Citizens app.
So that was crazy. I was shocked to find that out. But
Citizens app. What are they? They just send it all out.
Yeah, it was like news alert,
alert.
and then it was like Joe Biden steps down, and then let me tell you, the memes came.
The memes.
rolling
We're gonna go back to
in.
Hawaii, but let's give the coconut tree meme
It's-
a little respect.
okay, but the fact that her team is leaning into Brat Summer is
Oh, I
like
know.
literally genius. Like it's I don't know. I'm very excited. I am very excited.
My favorite one right now is the Coconut Mall song from Mario
I
Kart.
know, I love that one.
It's like you, ding, 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 ding.
It's in the context.
Anyways, go back to the
Anyway,
real life coconut
okay.
trees.
The real life coconut trees were beautiful. It was the whole trip was absolutely just splendid. It was just so relaxing. What?
I've never heard you and I've never heard anyone
trip.
in my life use
You
the word
guys act like I make
splendid.
up these words.
It basically is a
She
made
said
up
we
word.
got tea every afternoon. It was splendid.
Okay.
But I think it's adorable that it was that good. You
Yeah,
called it splendid.
it was so wonderful. I was so sad to leave. It was just so much fun. But anyway, the Thai story. So
Wait,
while-
did you do the hike that we told you to do?
Yes.
Wasn't
I
it
think it was the same. It took us a lot longer. You guys were like, we did it in 45 minutes. We were there for like 2 hours. So either I hiked really slowly
No,
or
it took
you
us 45 minutes to the top.
Oh, and then 45 minutes
Yeah.
down.
No,
Okay.
it took us like 30 down because we ran.
We did run down,
We
but
just
It
flew.
was probably the same hike.
yes, it
Get
was
to the
because,
Thai story.
It started at the water, like you could see the water on the left
Yes.
side. Wasn't
Yeah.
it crazy when you got to the top?
Beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. So our like first official day there, we were like, let's go get some Thai food. I found this place that had vegan options. So I
Leave
was
it to
like,
Gabriella
perfect.
to travel all the way to Hawaii and still go get Thai food.
Okay, I would like to defend myself. There were not a lot of vegan Hawaiian options.
I know
okay.
they really are.
It's not. Vegan spam doesn't exist.
There, well, we actually did find a grocery store. We'll get to that later. So we go to this restaurant, and like right off the bat, I'm like a little confused because it's like in a garage,
Ew.
like next to like a like. Well, I won't give away like defining factors of this place. So, but it's like in a garage. So like
Why, you
there's
don't
like
live
a
in
door.
Hawaii?
Well,
Oh,
okay.
you don't want to dox the place.
Yes.
Because something bad happened.
Yes. So we go up. There's like the store. There's like this like animatronic in the window, and then like you like click a button, or it says if this is your first time here, ring the bell. If you're a returning customer, seat yourself. You know how this works. So
What
I was
the
like,
hell does that even mean?
okay. So I'm like, we ring the bell, and then like the animatronic is like.
Wait, when you say animatronic, I'm thinking like
Freddy
Freddy
Fazbear,
Fazbear.
yeah.
Like elaborate.
It was like
They're like,
Yoda.
can't wait
It was
to
like,
meet
like-
you.
Basically, it was like a
Join the
Yoda animatronic.
animatronic family.
Basically.
Okay. Okay,
how tall was
CG5.
it?
It was like on a table, so like it was probably like a 4 foot tall like statue.
Ew.
And then like
Ew,
Yoda
what?
is like, have patience, good one. Like, you know, I could hardly hear what it's saying, but basically it tells you to be patient. Someone's gonna be with you. So I'm like, what is
This
happening?
is wild.
So
This is also art.
this like white guy, and this is important because like he's like
Why is
like,
it important?
because he's like the nerdiest, most Californian man I've
And
ever
you're
met.
at a
in my
Thai
life.
food restaurant.
We're at a Thai food restaurant. So he comes out and he's like, hey, I'm not exaggerating. He talked like Crush from like the
Nemo. Finding Nemo.
He's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for giving me purpose in my life to come answer the door. My wife was literally begging for me to get out of the kitchen. And so we're like,
What?
Wait, this is your first time?
this is our
going?
first time.
Okay.
This is our first time. So we're like,
Okay, also,
Okay.
that statement was
Right, so
wild.
right off the bat-
Setting us back women's rights to like the 40s.
right off the bat, I'm like, what is happening? So he leads us across the way. It's this very pop culture aesthetic with like the vibes of this like kind of, what was
That
that?
was loud. I don't know.
Okay.
Cool as this. Silence his notifications.
Of the garage. So I'm like kind of confused. He's like kind of weird, but we're like rolling with it. I was like, okay, he's quirky. He's fine. So we sit down. We're like there were a couple other people in like the
Did
space.
they
It's like
ring the doorbell or did they see themselves?
they sat themselves. So it's like
They've been there.
a garage. So like it's like open into the parking lot. Like, but you're like in this kind of like, you know,
Wait,
converted space.
You mean more like a hangar?
Kind of.
Okay.
Like,
But
kind
also
of like
kind
if
of garage.
kind of like if we like renovated the merch garage, where like we like pulled up the thing.
But was
and
it
then,
that tiny? Like,
no, it was a little bit bigger,
Okay,
but
okay.
but still not huge. Like
Okay.
probably a little bit bigger than
like
this
a
room.
workshop garage sort of thing.
Kind of.
Okay.
I see
Oh,
what
you
you're
keep
saying.
going.
So we sit down. He's like, okay, you order off the menu or on the QR codes, and so we're like, oh, okay. So we order off the menu, and he told us beforehand. He's like, it's a little overwhelming, so just take your time. We like to tell people to just take their time here. And so again, I'm like, what does that mean?
That
This-
seems like he's gonna like drug you. Or
This
something.
menu is like, you know when you do like the digital menus and it's like you scroll for like the sections you're in? There had to have been 100+ sections because there were like jokes and memes like put into the menu.
in the menu.
In the menu. So it's like you're looking at like the food and
Is
then
it
you
like
see a meme.
And then it's like
Stoner
SpongeBob.
thing?
Basically. Like it was like so confusing. So
Did
we
you
were
still
like,
have the menu?
I could probably find it, yeah. So I was like, okay, so we're like kind of like, okay, it's like a thing. Like it's quirky, it's all pop
I
culture
like how you guys are leaning
references.
into it, and I would have been like, "What?"
Well, we just got there, so we were excited. We're like, we're in Hawaii.
You're
Like,
just
this
happy
is
to
so,
be here.
Yeah, we're happy to be here. There's so many vegan options, so we just order a ton of stuff, and then it asks like as you're checking out for a tip. So we were kind of like, okay, like I guess like it's like a restaurant, like we'll tip like 20%, like it's a restaurant. But then the food comes and there's a counter, and then he just like calls your name. You just go up. It's in cardboard boxes. And then you bring it back to your table. And so, like, we were like, oh, okay, it's more like
Counter service.
takeout. Yeah. So we're like kind of confused by that. So I had selected on the thing, I was like, I have a refillable water bottle because that was like one of the options.
Okay.
It's like buy water, refillable water bottle.
Because it's Hawaii, they're all about saving nature.
Exactly. So I asked him because like I was like, oh, because he'd come over. He's like, is the food good? And I was like, yeah, it's delicious. Can I get my water bottle refilled? And he's like, oh, we don't fill water bottles. And then he just like stares at me, and I'm like,
What the menu say?
thank you. And then he's like, oh, it like very clearly states in the menu that we don't fill up the water bottles because like obviously we're a restaurant and the point is to make money. So if we're running back and forth filling up everyone's water bottles for free, we're not getting paid for that, right? And so like we were like, what?
I'm confused.
So were you allowed to fill up your own water bottle?
No, and then he was like, we don't have any water here. We don't even wash dishes. He was like, he was like, as if a food truck and a restaurant had a baby. He's like, that's what we are. He's like, we're basically
What does he
a
mean
food
they don't
truck.
wash dishes?
Because they don't have dishes. Like you eat
They
on
have
paper.
utensils.
No, it was paper
But
utensils.
like, what do they cook with?
Well, I think like they just like he just meant like there's nothing commercially.
Okay.
So like you're on your own is basically like the message of this. So he goes on. So we're talking with him again. Like he's like talking about how like mom and dad, like he just kept referring to them as like mom and dad and his wife run the restaurants. Him, mom, dad, and wife. So again, we're just like really leaning into it at this point because we're like, okay, like this is like an experience. Basically, he like asked us to leave a review. He's like, I really could use a review. He was like, I hate that like we're doing a review system because like how can you fit things into a box? Like
You're like, I can have 1 star.
So he's like, if I
Would
were
not
to
fill
like
up my bottle.
if I were to like buy a blender and it breaks 3 months from now, am I gonna go leave it a 1-star review? No.
Yes.
Like it was so weird. So we're like, okay, the
It
food
only lasted 3 months, 1 star.
the food was good. We really loved it. So we're like, okay, like this is fine, whatever. We leave a good review because it like overall it was a quirky experience. We're like, okay. We go back the next day, and this will be the quicker part. We go back the next day. We previously, me and my boyfriend, had a conversation the night before. We were like, okay, if we go back, I don't think we really need to tip because there is no service. Like you
Right.
clear your table,
Right.
you grab your own food, you're eating out of plastic
Like I would not
containers.
tip at a McDonald's.
Yes, exactly. So we were like, we'll go again.
Very
It
good
was
point.
outrageously expensive, but it was really good food and it was a small business. So we were like, okay, we're okay to go back and pay those prices. I'm not tipping on top of that because there are no other employees
Right.
there. It's the owner. We go, same kind of quirky experience.
You entered yourself though this time.
We did enter ourselves this time. However, somebody else was there. They rang the doorbell. This man pops his head out and goes, thank you so much for giving my life meaning. My wife was just in the kitchen begging me to get out. He repeated
No
every
way.
single word he said to us to the new customers
Why
that
is
were
that
there
his
that night.
line? Why does he go into it with that?
Single thing he said to us, from the reviews to his mom and dad to everything he repeated to every person that was new there.
That
So-
was a simulation.
Yes. So immediately I'm on edge. I'm like, okay, this now feels kind of weird. that like he is just repeating the same thing. It doesn't feel authentic anymore. I was like, this
Right.
all feels very elaborate. This all feels very fake. I don't.
Rehearsed.
Right. I'm like, okay, this is losing its charm by the second.
1-star vibes.
So we order the food. I don't tip because again, there's nothing to tip. We're eating, and he comes over to us as we're eating, and he's like, Gabriella, like, you know, are you guys enjoying your meal? And then I'm like, yeah,
He's
it's
spitting
delicious.
your food.
It's so good. And then he goes, good, like you're feeling taken care of. You're enjoying the environment that you're in. You're having a good time. And immediately I'm like, what is happening? I'm like, why is this starting to feel so weird? And then I kid you not, he looks me dead in the eye and goes, because I noticed you didn't leave a gratuity on your bill. Is that something you would like to add? Because you didn't add one.
That's crazy.
Ew.
I was like, the social anxiety part of me was like immediately just apologize and say that you meant to tip and that you forgot. But I was like, at that point, I was like, I'm standing my ground because now I'm
Good.
annoyed. Because I'm like, first of all, there's nothing to tip. You are doing everything
You're
yourself.
not giving us any plates.
There's no
You're not
plates.
washing the dishes.
No
He's not
water.
even
You're not
taking
filling
the
up my
order.
water. You're not taking my order. I'm doing literally everything here. And he also gave the same water bottle spill to somebody else at the restaurant. So I was not the only one confused by it.
You use Canva for the menu.
Literally. So I was like, oh, you know what? Not this time. I was like, we're loving the food though, but like, yeah, we don't want to add a gratuity today. And then he goes, oh, really? Because when I go places, I want people to feel appreciated by me. So when I went to the Rolling Stone concert with my dad, even though our the bill for the beer was $50, I still left a tip because I wanted him to feel appreciated behind the counter. And then so I'm like, starting to freak out. I'm like, what is happening? At this point, we were like almost done eating, so I was like, let me just leave. So he's like, I was like, oh, and I was like, I appreciate that, but like, no, thank you. Like, I don't want to add a tip. So then he starts getting angry, and then he's like, well, I just don't understand why you wouldn't want someone to appreciate it, and you know what? And then he stops, and then like once I'm like, I'm not leaving you a tip, then he starts freaking out, and he's like, you know what? I shouldn't have even brought it up. You know what? I'm going to give you a 20% off because you're going to leave me a 1-star review and I shouldn't have brought it up. And I'm sorry. I don't know why I did. I'm not going to do it.
What in the world? This is bizarre.
That's scary.
He like runs away. And then me and my boyfriend were like, we're leaving now. And you can tell that the other people in the restaurant that were having a weird experience with him as well are like freaking out. So then we get up, we go to our car.
It's like if for someone who's so worried about reviews, like he just threw a fit in front of everyone else in the restaurant who's gonna be like, the food was good, but like the owner literally had a tantrum.
We're in our car and he comes running out of it with the receipt and he's like, no, please, I can get 25% off. What do you want? Do you want a free meal? Do you want me to comp it all? Please don't leave me a bad review. You're gonna leave me a bad review. And we're like, we're not gonna leave a bad review. Like we promise. He's like, you're gonna leave a 1-star review. It's gonna ruin me. Somebody else left me a 1-star review, please. And we're like, I'm like almost like shaking at this point. I was like, what is happening?
That is nuts.
That's psychotic.
He gives me the receipt and we're like, this is unnecessary. Like, we're not going to leave you a 1-star review. Mind you, we were planning on eating back at this restaurant like 4 more times during our entire stay. We spent like $100 each time we went. And so we would have given this business like hundreds of more dollars. And he chased us away
He
over not
ruined
leaving
it.
a tip for no reason. Oh, then he was like, I just promised my wife that I would never ever let her clean up after somebody who didn't appreciate her, and by not leaving the tip, that's what you're doing. So like, I'll give you your money back, and please just use that to leave a tip for somebody else the next time you go somewhere. Like it was so.
Tipping culture in America is so messed up. If you own the business, you are tipping to compensate for the business owners not paying their employees enough.
Yeah, that's
So,
crazy.
That
That
is
wasn't
really
even the
wild.
craziest part. The craziest part is afterwards we actually went and looked at the reviews of the place. Every single 1-star review of somebody who had the exact same experience, down to the exact same word and scripting of what he said to me, of the Rolling Stone concerts, of his dad, the mom and dad, of not cleaning up after the wife. Like everybody in the 1-star reviews were like bamboozled. Like they were like, what just happened to me?
That is so wild.
Ew, I don't like that.
It was so
That was scarier than
weird.
long legs.
That was.
I was terrified. I was like, this is apt. And the funniest thing was that we just like had the conversation of like, oh, we're just like not gonna tip this time, and it just turned out to be that big of a deal for
That's
him.
crazy.
And we didn't go back. So I was like, even if we were to go back, I was like, I don't trust
Yeah,
that they're
you
not
can't
gonna
go back.
poison our food.
You can't go back
Even
after
if-
that.
There's no going back.
Like my boyfriend
I'd
was
be
like,
afraid that you put like some
thank you.
crazy
He was
in
like,
there.
my boyfriend was like, well, just get takeout. I was like, he could still poison us. Like, no.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was
Crazy
like,
is crazy.
that was insane. And I was like, I was floored that it happened. But yeah, tipping culture I feel like has gotten way out of hand in general. But this was like to the extreme of it.
Like tipping is for above and beyond. At like if at Starbucks you have an insanely great window person, you're like, oh, okay, I really loved my experience. It's not an every time thing. Like whenever
And it's optional.
I'm like, this is $8 for a coffee. I'm not tipping 2 more on top of that.
Again, and like it's for the service you're receiving and what you're getting. I'm like, if I'm getting cartons, like takeout food, and like you're not even giving me water, like there's literally nothing there to be like, oh, you went above and beyond this service. Like it's just, yeah, I was
That's wild.
floored. So yeah, that's my crazy typhoid story.
Well, also too, I feel like you can't hold people accountable to the tip because maybe some
Yes.
people legitimately don't have the money to tip. But if that's the price you're putting on the menu, that's the price of the food. So again, it's an expectation at that
Yes.
point. So you can't force that. Otherwise, you're being like, okay, well, that's the actual price of the food.
And you can't be like, you don't want to support small businesses, which is what
Right.
he said to us. When I'm like, when we literally came back to your small business that had very, very high prices compared
Like, how
to the
much
other
for a pad
businesses.
thai?
The pad thai was $30, and it came in a box. Like again,
Oh,
like it was
Why?
very
There were-
expensive.
$30 for pad thai.
Yes.
you could have gone to any other Thai food place and asked for tofu.
Exactly. So we wanted to like support them because they outwardly were like, we have vegan options, and like it was like, so like that's what I mean is like we paid $100 each time we went there, and we're going to go back.
I
That's
know
crazy.
it does not cost $30 to make pad
That's
thai.
insane.
I know. So yeah, that's my story.
Well, not to end abruptly on that story, but we are at time, and I'm glad we fit everything in. It was a doozy.
It was
I said
a
that at the
doozy.
beginning.
A lot happened.
Jam packed.
Eden is still possessed and probably will be in the next episode. Bye. Thanks for watching or
Bye.
listening.
Leave us a tip if you.
Yeah. Can you send us a
Optional.
super
Five
We
chat?
stars.
spent a lot of time on this.
You
though.
don't care about creators?